Hey, what's up? Danny here, and today I want to talk about experienced versus inexperienced hires, in particular your freelancers, your virtual assistants, and how to really approach your hiring process with identifying the key benefits and cons, pros and cons for each of these hiring types. So, the first one. And I want to just have this more conversational style today because it's really important that you understand the key distinctions between these two. There's no right and wrong answer as far as who you should go with, but the number one thing that is really going to make an impact on your decision is going to be the time you have invested or you're willing to invest in doing some of the tasks in your business versus the money and the budget that you have to spend on hiring someone as well. So with that said, the first thing, experienced freelancers or hires, you will basically be paying a lot more depending upon their experience level, right? So if you have someone who's an established freelancer on Upwork or another contracting or freelancing site, they're going to have lots of reviews, lots of job history, and their current rate, hourly rate or project rate is going to be much higher than someone who's just getting started on the platform, right? Just getting started in their freelancing career. And so that's really important to understand. Now, you're going to be spending more money, but when you go through the interview process and you actually ask the key questions and identify the key requirements that are going to be required for this person to do exceptionally well at the job, well, then you can fully vet that candidate and ensure that they know what they're doing, they know what they're talking about. But really what's going to happen is when you actually hire them, the rubber meets the road when the tasks are actually getting done, right? So that's important. They can have a great interview and not really perform very well. So we want to really, use that interview process to identify and vet them out to make sure that they are what they say they are. But really, at the end of the day, you're only really going to know once you hire them. Okay, so the interview process is just a way to mitigate that risk. Now, when you have someone who's experienced, they're generally going to bring a lot more to the table. They're going to have their own strategy or their own approach, and they're going to need less guidance, which is going to cause you to invest less of your time. So you see there's a relationship with time and money and that investment up front. If you have someone who's experienced, you shouldn't be spending as much time trying to get them onboarded and acclimated to produce results. Whereas someone who's inexperienced, you're going to need to hold their hand a little bit more in order to get them up to speed with the tasks that need to get done. Now, with that said, inexperienced hires are definitely not, they shouldn't be looked down upon because there are a lot of people who are just getting into the Upwork platform or another freelancer platform who they have previous work experience, just not on that web platform. So they may not have a whole lot of reviews. They may not have a whole lot of work history on that platform, but they still have a lot of experience they bring to the table from all the other work they've done in the past. So that's why it's very important you interview them to find out what they've done prior to being on, say, Upwork.com, and provide work samples for you to review so that you can see that this potential candidate is actually a quality candidate and just needs to get some more experience points on that platform. So I can definitely say that as a result of my hiring experiences, I've found some real true rock stars when it comes to inexperienced hires and being able to budget, because I was basically bootstrapping most of the time, is being able to hire them on a budget. So not spend a lot of money on an hourly rate and still be able to give them something competitive for people who are just starting out. Now, it's really important to understand that when you do that, you want to be able to have incentives along the way to promote or give sort of bonuses as your virtual assistant or freelancer is with you for a certain period amount of time. I like to do annual reviews, but then there's also things you can do such as bonuses and offer other certain incentives to really motivate your staff, because at the end of the day, we're driven by the work that we do and feeling pride in the work that we do. And also knowing that the hard work we put in, that there's going to be some results. There's going to be some results, not just for the business, but for me as a freelancer as well. And so you have to keep that in mind as you are working with your staff. Okay, so those are the key differences between experienced versus inexperienced hires. Again, experienced, you're going to pay more money, but you're going to invest less time so that you can go ahead and focus on the other revenue generating tasks and other ways that you can grow your business. Okay. And also with the inexperienced hires, you have to hold their hand a little bit in the beginning, but over time, they'll get more experienced, especially with how you like things done. And that time that you would spend with them initially is going to be a big investment. And so it's really up to you to experiment with them. I think that's at the end of the day, it's really the key thing that you have to really embrace is experimentation. And the more people you interview, the more people that you test out, the more chances of success you're going to have for the long term. So I hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.